Ashley. I'm going to be your nurse today. Can you tell me your name
Mallory,
and how old are you?
25.
Okay, so today we're just going to be doing a cardiac assessment. I'm going to be listening to the same spot several different times. Doesn't mean anything's wrong. Do you have any questions before we get started? Okay, first I'm just going to be looking at your carotid arteries, which are in your neck. I just want to make sure that nothing's wrong, and then we're going to palpate those arteries one at a time. We always want to make sure that we're not cutting blood supply off to the brain. Okay, now I'm going to listen to those arteries with my stethoscope with the small part, which is the bell. So what I need you to do is take a deep breath in, blow it out, and hold it. Okay, same thing on the other side. Take a deep breath in, blow it out, and hold it. Okay, good. Now we're going to move down to listening to your heart. So I'm going to name the valves as we go, okay? So we're going to start at the second intercostal space on the right side for your aortic. We're going to move straight across to the second intercostal space on the left side for your pulmonic. Then we're going to move down to the third intercostal space, left sternal border for your Erb's point. Then we're going to move down to the fourth intercostal space, left sternal point for your tricuspid, your midclavicular line for your mitral. Okay, now we're going to do those same sections again with the bell. So, aortic, pulmonic, Erb's point, tricuspid, and mitral. Okay? So now what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you lay down. Okay, now we're going to be checking for jugular distension. So turn your head this way. Turn your head back this way. No jugular vein distension noted at this time. So now you can look straight. So now I'm just going to be checking for, I'm going to be looking at your pericardium, which is what's around your heart, for any irritation. No irritation at this time. So now with those same spots that we did earlier, I'm going to palpate, okay? So we're going to start aortic, pulmonic, Erb's point, tricuspid, mitral. Any tenderness when I do this? Okay, I'm also going to palpate for your apical pulse right here at your mitral. Okay, good. Now I'm going to listen to those same spots. Aortic, pulmonic, Erb's point, tricuspid, and mitral. Okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing with the bell again. Aortic, pulmonic, Erb's point, tricuspid, and mitral. Okay, now that I have you here, I'm going to have you roll this way. Okay, and roll back. All right, do you have any questions? No? Okay, well, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to give a report on a 25-year-old female who came in for just a cardiac assessment today. We started off with her carotid arteries. I just looked at those first. Then I palpated the arteries to make sure that nothing was wrong. We didn't feel any thrills or any murmurs. And then I went on to listening to those arteries, her carotid arteries. There was no tenderness or anything noted with the arteries. And then we moved down to listening to her heart valves. We listened to her aortic, her pulmonic, her Erb's point, her tricuspid, and her mitral valve. We did that sitting and lying. There was no murmurs heard during that. Then and no thrills either. Then I had her lay down and we checked for jugular vein distension. There was no jugular vein distension noted. We looked at the pericardium for any irritation. There was no irritation noted. We also listened to all of those. After that, we palpated the aortic, the pulmonic, the Erb's point, and the tricuspid and the mitral. I also listened for the apical pulse at the mitral valve. And we did that when she was laying down. I also palpated. I listened to, and then I listened to the heart sounds with the diaphragm and the bell of the stethoscope. All sounds were they were normal. We heard S1 and S2, the S3 and S4. There was no S3 or S4. There was no murmurs or thrills noted during the assessment.